Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by a man you know as an actor, maybe baseball player, podcaster, but the title he loves better, Dad. His latest project is playing Sully in Sullivan's Crossing. We welcome Scott Patterson.
Sean, how you doing? Thank you.
Absolutely great, Scott. Let's go beyond the mic. You are the king of the small town show. Why was Sullivan's Crossing perfect for you?
Well, I really thought it was much different from anything that I'd ever done before. I mean, I know it's a small town. It reminds people of that other show that I can't mention the name of, but it had a community feel, small town feel to it. But it was just a different experience emotionally. And as an actor, it was going to challenge me in different ways. Like, can you go this deep with this character? Can you access this level of emotionality in your portrayal of this character? So it scared me, and that's really the best reason to take on a job that something maybe you think you cannot pull off. The only way to really grow as an artist, as I've said many times before, is, and others have as well, is to take on things that challenge you. And this was going to be a big challenge in it, and I've been right. It's very challenging, but that's why I love it.
Now, Sullivan's Crossing is about healing wounds. What's the deepest wound you've had in your life, and has it healed?
I had a paper cut when I was about 12, and it was pretty nasty. It was a big envelope, and the biggest wound in my life. Gosh, Sean, what are you doing to me, man? This is the biggest one in my life. I got rejected by a girl that I really liked when I was 10. And she was 11, and I still haven't gotten over it. So I won't mention her name, but that was a big one.
From the CW Sullivan's Crossing, Scott Patterson joins us beyond the mic for the Rockin' 8. Normally, it would be 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. But today, all 8 questions are fans of Sullivan's Crossing or the show we can't mention. Scott, there's no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
From Stephanie. When you watch an episode of the show we can't mention for your I Am All In podcast, do you remember your hair care routine from back in those days?
Hair care, basically never a comb, never a brush, show up to work, put a hat on. They throw a little powder up in the air. I run through it. That's my whole makeup process. That's how I prep. So I was like 15 minutes. I asked them to please call. I was 6 miles away. I had a very fast car. I was 6 miles away from Warner Brothers, where I lived. And I said, just call me in 15 minutes before you need me, and I'll be on set early. And I always was. So had it down to a science.
Randy wants to know, do people compliment him on his standalone duality of his roles, or do they stay fixed on the relationships with the other characters?
Wow. Duality. Oof. People do express that. It's pretty much split down the middle. People want to know about the other actors and the relationships and all that. But that is an interesting question, and people do inquire. And I always try to give them an honest answer. From
Hannah, favorite TV show to watch today?
Oh gosh, I don't know. TV show. I just binged the David Beckham documentary, which is kind of cool. It gets a little boring, but it gets a little redundant. But it's he's a nice guy, so it's like good to see somebody nice that really made it big.
From Kendall, what's your favorite thing about your wife?
Just her love and her dedication and the way she raises our son, and when I'm away, and takes care of everything, and makes life easy for everybody. So it's very special.
Corey wants to know the fast-paced banter in the show we can't mention. Did you have any input on it?
No, none of us had any input on anything on that show. No.
Mama Gil wants to know, what's it like to work with Edward Herman?
It was really cool. First scene I did with him, I believe, was at the golf course, and he, you're working with pretty much a legend at that point in his career, and it was exciting. It's fun to work with those people. I've worked with a couple of those people, and it's actually really fun. And I was a little bit nervous. I was a little more nervous than I normally am, but that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So that means they're going to up your game. So he upped my game. It's like playing basketball with Jordan, sort of, And
I know I'm going to lose. Just let me make one shot.
But no, maybe that's not an apt analogy. It's like playing basketball with somebody that's that's played in the NBA.
That makes sense.
You know, but you're pretty good too, and maybe you beat him. You got a chance.
Allison wants to know, how many tissues did you go through when reading the script for Sullivan's Crossing the first time?
I just had one large one. I didn't have many little ones. I just had a big one. It got messy, I have to admit.
And Jennifer wants to know, since you love music, what's the last 3 songs you listened to?
Oh, gosh. The last 3 songs. I listened to Jackson Brown's Late for the Sky, which I think is one of the most remarkable songs ever written. I listened to James Gang live version of You're Gonna Need Me, which is the best guitar solo in the history of history. And what else did I listen to? I listened to a song by I forget, Noel Gallagher song called The Mighty or something like that. Yeah.
It's time for One Big Question with Scott Patterson from Sullivan's Crossing on the CWB on the mic. How has acting filled the hole in your own heart of not being as talented a guitar player as Jeff Beck?
Well, nobody's as talented a guitar player as Jeff Beck. Nobody is. Everybody's walking around with that hole in their heart. Oh, can I just tell you about the many times I tried to figure out his guitar solos when I was a teenager? I mean, it was impossible. Have you ever done that? Have you ever tried to do that?
And you couldn't.
Like, remember that album? Did you ever get that album Blow by Blow and try to figure out any of those solos? And you're like, what am I doing? It's like, I can't get that. It's like, there's just no way. Anyway,
it's like, I give up.
I forgot the question. I'm having too much fun.
It's time to sneak in one more question with Scott Patterson. Scott, why is it important for people to fall in love with Sullivan's Crossing other than the featual residuals for you?
There's no other reason. Actually, that's the reason. No, I think if they want some wholesome television that's a little bit dark, okay, it's not fluff. It gets edgy and dark and deeply emotional. If they want to see characters from a broad spectrum of experiences and backgrounds go through what everybody goes through, it's very relatable in that sense. Everybody has their demons. Everybody has their issues. Everybody has their family issues. But what I love about the show is that it can aid or inspire people to maybe look in the mirror and start their own process of healing with whatever issues they have, because we present a whole smorgasbord, if you will, of issues, personal issues for different types of people. And Roma Roth has done a wonderful job of having all of these issues just sort of collide with each other in this piece. And that's why it's so fun to watch. So a lot of narratives going on, a lot of storylines that smash into each other. And, just when you think things are going to get resolved, there's another blow up. And it's unpredictable, and it's fun to watch. I actually watch them. I watch the rough cuts, and I think the rough cuts are really strong. So you add in the music and, the color and correction and all that stuff, you're going to get a really nice product. Really good content, I think. So well worth your hour.
When needed on set, he only asks for a 15-minute warning, always complimented on the duality of his roles, and wants you to watch Sullivan's Crossing on the CW. Our friend Scott Patterson, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, buddy.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.